and for both candidates. Let's start with Congressman Filner. Do you think San Diego's airport needs to be relocated? And if so, where do you think it should be and why? And if not, what changes need to be made to Lindbergh Field?
You know, I think we've gone, Nathan, through this whole campaign where this issue used to be the only issue for mayor's campaigns. No, you're the first person that's asked us, I think, in this whole campaign about the airport. Interestingly enough, it used to be the major issue, and various ideas have come up. Clearly, I mean, if you want to be a world-class city, and it's a one-runway airport on 400 acres is not the way to get there. If you're going to talk about a world economy, if you're going to talk about expanding our trade, if you're going to talk about a new economy, the airport, which is so convenient, we all love flying back in here because we're home in a few minutes, basically, and it's very convenient. But where can we relocate? Nobody in San Diego wants it in their area. We had a vote on Miramar, and the public turned it down. So, what's wrong now? I'm sorry?
We're happy.
I'm not for it. So, we have put off bounds, basically, every place to move an airport. So it's being expanded now. If you've been down there, there's lots of stuff going on. Parking is a mess and a real problem. I came up with a interesting idea that when you start thinking about relocating an airport, you could start thinking about other things. Because if you use a new technology for that, if you put it in a place where housing might be built also, where you talk about it in new ways. There are trains, high-speed trains today, that go at 400 miles an hour. I could be 100 miles away on a train in 15 minutes or less. So distance doesn't really matter when you have that kind of transit capacity. You could put an airport 100 miles away and still get there in 12 to 15 minutes. Go out to our east, to the next county even. Why do Paris and Tokyo, why do people live literally 100 miles away and go to work in those big cities? Because they have bullet trains. They only go about 180 miles an hour. Think of dealing with housing issues. Think of dealing with trade with Mexico. I think we should talk about a whole new approach. Drive a new agenda. Turn the page. We steal each other's words. And start talking about this in a whole different way. Because if you have that kind of trade, it's called maglev, by the way, magnetic levitation. If you start talking about that way, you can talk about a port that is expanding because you have ways to get our cargo to the east, which we can't do right now. So we've taken care of the airport in the short run with the modifications that are being done. But I think we have to think about a new vision and think about, and we can talk about, as Nathan says, we're in a different world now. If you can get somewhere at 400 miles an hour, you don't have to talk about locating it somewhere at Miramar, Thank you.
We're gonna do one debate where we each answer for each other, because you end up doing so many of these. But it is a good topic, and it came up a lot in my first run for the legislature, because we were confronting the issue of the attempt to put a commercial airport at Miramar. And I'll never forget one of my early meetings with a big backer of that. And he said, "Where are you at the airport at Miramar?" And I said, "I'm not with you now, and I won't ever be with you. Because we are not going to move a commercial airport to Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. It's not right for the communities. It's not right for the Marines. It's not right for San Diego. Because I don't think we need to. For a couple reasons. One, we can't keep banishing the military out into the furthest forms of society. We need to honor them and welcome them into our society. I was in a minefield outside Fallujah with Humvees on fire and guys hurt bad. And helicopters from Marine Corps Air Station Miramar came in and saved their lives. And that's a commitment that we're going to make and we're going to honor for all of San Diego's future. But the other thing is I think the debate really has changed a lot. A lot of the debate was always about international flights. You couldn't get a 747 to take off and land fully loaded out of Lindbergh. Well, technology's changed. The new 777s are doing direct Lindbergh to London and back. We're seeing flights from Lindbergh to Asia and back. And so technology has really transformed, I think a lot of the old arguments against it. At some point, we hope our economy grows to a point where we reach capacity there. But then let's think broader. Let's look at ourselves as a region. How is San Diego, Imperial, and Mexico one region? Mexico has a great airport, right on the other side of the border. Imagine if we built a quick, secure shuttle where you could maybe check in at Lindbergh, clear customs, check your bag, get on a shuttle that would take you right down there. Walk across the bridge, you get on your flight, and you take off. How do we utilize some of our other smaller regional airports? How do we link things with high-speed rail? I think that really is the conversation about how do we look at things in a different light. How do we rebuild them for the future? And that would be my plan in terms of addressing it with a long-term plan. So what I would hate to be is someone who didn't plan, didn't prepare, and then years from now they run up against a major capacity problem and they haven't invested the time. So let's start talking about what it looks like in 20 years from now and start planning for that better future.